hood, falling out the hood, falling getting money like a real one should. I'ma take a sip, get a little lit back in a bit, meditate, I think I should. No, we ain't friends, got me on 10.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video here on Peg City Hockey, and today is going to be recap reactions for game 4 out of 6 for the Jets 2023-2024 NHL preseason, where they lose by a final score of 3-1 to the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa. This was pretty much like the prospect team and the Moose team, pretty much. I think the only full-timer on here was like Morgan Barron, was one of the only guys on here that was like actually a full-timer with the Jets last year. And again, like, this was a pretty good game. Like, even the last game against Calgary, you know, I didn't cover it. I wasn't able to have the time. Like I told you guys, I'm in the middle of the move. You know, I've got boxes everywhere. Legit, the only thing in my room that isn't packed up is what you see behind me. For the video's sake. After that's done, I'm tearing down everything. So I've got a lot to do. So watching this game was a nice break from everything, even though they lost, 'cause I just love watching me some hockey. And tonight, what I really liked was the depth. And I also want to say that I officially am going to come out, and I've been very hesitant to say it this preseason. Ville Heinola has officially earned a spot with the Winnipeg Jets. I'm saying that as a hypothetical. Obviously, I don't know what Rick Bowness is thinking, but as a fan, this has been the best, most complete hockey we've seen from Ville Heinola. And I think the real question now, when you come to look into the preseason, you look at the roster going in, I think the big question is the Logan Stanley experiment worth losing Declan Chisholm over? Because even in tonight's game, where Declan Chisholm struggled a bit at times, he's dominated preseason compared to Logan Stanley. Like, dominated. Not even funny. So in this game, you know, even when they lose 3-1, Ville Heinola was fantastic tonight. And even it just, at the end of the day, like, I think that Ville Heinola will be a very, very big piece going into the Jets season this year. Maybe an underrated piece from some fans out there. And I really do think he makes it. I think he's earned the spot. I think he's shown every area of growth that coaching staff had against him. You know, going into last season, Bowness, you know, was really high on him. Bowness liked him during the season. He knew how good he was with the Moose last year. But there just wasn't a spot. And they knew that. And they knew that there were some things they needed to tweak out. And you look at the 4 preseason games so far. I know he hasn't played all of them, so I think he's played 3. So I'm going to say 3. It's been great. He's been fantastic. Like, Ville Heinola has been one of the better players in this entirety of preseason for just growth. Like, it's, in my opinion, this has been Ville's coming out party this preseason. I haven't talked about it a lot because I know how you guys are. I know how the fan base is when you talk about Ville Heinola. It's always split between the two sides that love him and think he's a bust. And at the end of the day, I'm a Jets fan, so I want every prospect, especially first-round picks, to be successful. So I'm going to have a lot of faith in the kid. And I'm really happy from what I've seen from him, his growth and his game. So I am very excited to see what happens in the last couple of games, but I think Ville Heinola has earned a spot and will probably end up playing with Brendan Dillon, I think, going into next season. I think that makes sense. I don't know how things shuffle out there, but that will be, I think, one of the pairings going into the next season for sure. Salmonson got injured today as well on a dirty hit. There's a lot of hitting in this game. Like, a lot. More than there should be. Now, I know people this whole preseason have been talking about, oh, should hitting, like, it's just, hitting is part of hockey. It's never going anywhere. If you want to get rid of fights, that's fine, but hitting is hitting. And the hits in tonight's game were just good hockey hits. There were no real late hits. There were no borderline calls. It was just hockey. And hockey can be physical, and it just seems that people forget that. Like, Tim Stützle getting really upset and taking shots at Sandberg, I thought was hilarious. That hit was not even close to being late. Like, come on. It was a simple body check. And that's the type of reaction you're getting from a body check in the NHL nowadays. It just shows how soft some of these players are. And I'm not trying to rip if you're a Sens fan. I like Tim Stützle. I just packed his rookie cards. But I have a lot of Tim Stützle stuff because I actually like the guy. I think he's a very good hockey player. But at the end of the day, you're going to get bumped. You're going to get stood up at the blue line when you try to enter the offensive zone. That's part of hockey. So, I don't know what you Sens fans were complaining about that one. But I had to just bring that up because I thought it was really funny. Because, why? But at the end of the day, tonight's game was fun. You know, Jansen Harkins was pretty much the perfect game for Jansen Harkins because he was great, but he was also pretty shit because he caused a turnover. So that's Jansen Harkins in almost his entirety. I still don't see him making the squad on opening day. It's funny that he's still even here because he could probably make a team somewhere out there. I don't know what, but at the end of the day, he's still a Jet, so we'll see what happens. But I expect him to be a Manitoba Moose guy going into the season, but Laurent Brossoit was good tonight. You know, I know it was 3-1, but one of those goals was an empty netter scored by Vladimir Tarasenko. I believe that's his first goal as an Ottawa Senator, too, so that's pretty hype. Congratulations to Vladimir Tarasenko. And an empty net goal. Yeah, that's what I exactly just said. But at the end of the day, I thought tonight's game was, like, just, again, this whole preseason, there has been nothing I have hated. Every game has gotten better. Every game you've seen growth, well, I'm not going to say every game's gotten better because we've lost 2 in a row now, but you know what I'm saying. The hockey itself doesn't feel necessarily like preseason hockey. The Jets are playing pretty good, and even with their young teams, go like tonight and the other night, you don't expect them to win these games, but they're playing really competitive hockey with a young team of guys that will not even sniff the NHL this year. So at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. Growth, individual performance, and just hockey being back. That's the best thing about the preseason, is just judging the talent. We talked about Villy. We've talked about all the other guys. We've talked about how this whole preseason has just felt like, perfection. Even though we've lost 2 games, I still am on that train, because every game I've seen a lot that is really encouraging, not for the success of this upcoming future, but for the success as a franchise, 2, 3, 4 years down the road with the current prospects in the system. I think some of these guys could be serviceable for the Jets. A lot of them will be, I think, good pieces going forward, and I know not all of them will make the team, but it's good to have the options. And tonight was one of those nights again. I liked what this young group of AHLers and young prospects was able to do out there against the Sens team that was, pretty mixed with the starters and guys that were on there. You had Claude Giroux playing tonight, Vladimir Tarasenko, Stützle, Brandstrom. You had a lot of guys. Batherson, a lot of guys were on this team for Ottawa that are good, that are going to be on the Sens full time. So for the Jets to fight this much just to be a 1-goal game for the last 30 seconds before that empty netter by Tarasenko, I'm happy, and I think you guys should be too. So at the end of the day, there was a lot in this game that I liked, a lot that I think will be a good carryover into the upcoming seasons for all of these players. And at the end of the day, I'm happy because it's just good preseason hockey. So let me know what your thoughts were down in the comment section below. I guess goodbye room, goodbye set 2.0. I had my first old room, moved, been here for the year pretty much, 11 months I think, or whatever it's been, and now we're moving again because that's what it's like living on the West Coast. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see how the new setup comes out, but yeah. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Peace, love, and positivity as always. Make sure to subscribe, turn notifications if you haven't already, and follow me on Twitter. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys on Monday in the new setup for the game against, I think, the Flames. I don't know. I'm going to say it's the Flames. But either way, have a great rest of your day. Peace and positivity as always. Go Jets, go! And I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later, room.
It'll all be over.